Friends, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays. This is the free NFL Bets podcast and YouTube show. My name is Eric. You can find all of my official bets at Twitter or X at Easy Money Wins. Again, at Twitter at Easy Money Wins. And guys, it's week 17 of the NFL season, and it's always like bittersweet for me this late in the season because it's like NFL's almost over. And of course, if you're like me, you love the NFL, but then at the same time, you're excited for the playoffs. And I'm just torn, guys. I'm torn. I'm having a really great season. I'm 56% and I'm plus 30 units on the season. So I mean, no complaints from me whatsoever. I am ready to crush this week as well. And yeah, let's get after it, guys. I'm going to do, sorry, excuse me. Let's see, I'm going to definitely do the Christmas games and Thursday night games. And you know what? Let's do the Saturday games as well, guys. Let's do the Saturday games as well. Now, the thing about this week, guys, is that a lot of these games are front-loaded in terms of like playoff outcomes. So I'll talk about that more as these games goes on. But let's dive into it, guys. Let's get right into it now. First game up, Kansas City Chiefs at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Kansas City just keeps winning football games this year, guys. Like, that's just what they do. In my opinion, they're overachieving for sure. But like in terms of the point spread, well, not in terms of the point spread, but in terms of win-loss, they've been overachieving, no doubt about it. They should have probably 3 or 4 losses that they don't have right now on their record. So I don't think Kansas City is as good as they are, but at the same time, given the circumstances of everything that's happened, they have found ways to win. They're a very good football team. They know how to win. Now, let's take a look at the injury report. DJ Humphries looks like he's out. And again, this is a short week, guys. This is the third game in 11 days for both of these, for all 4 of these Christmas Day games, for all 4 of these teams that are playing today. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. I think that favors the over. I think there will be people not being as physical. Like put this in perspective, guys. And like I've played Division I college football, so I know what it's like on your body after a game, especially after a physical game. And like you need a good like week. Like you really do. You really do. So to play 3 games in 11 days, I'm just telling you, like, these guys, they're not soft guys. Like, they're going to go out there and they're going to be physical and they're going to, bang heads and all that stuff. But to say that they're going to be able to enforce their will physically, their mind's going to be there, but their bodies are not going to be there, guys. So I think tackling's not going to be as good. I think it favors the offense. I really like the overs in this game, and the Christmas Day games for certain. So let's take a look there. DJ Humphries, the left tackle, has been ruled out. Jawan Taylor's questionable. I would be surprised if Jawan Taylor does not play. I think he does play. Chamari Connor, he's not going to play. And then Chris Jones is also questionable. He probably plays, but we'll see. We'll see. It's a short week, 3 games in 11 days, right, for the Chiefs. All right, let's take now for the Steelers. Everybody's coming back. Everybody's coming back for them. All right, except for Joey Porter Jr. He is been ruled out, so that hurts. That does hurt. Justin Fields is listed as questionable. He's missed the last couple games, I believe. But Deshaun Elliott, the safety, is back. George Pickens is back. Larry Ogunjobi, the defensive lineman, is back. James Pierre, he's not like amazing, but I think he's okay at cornerback to replace Joey Porter Jr. Obviously, you like Joey Porter Jr. there. It's another reason to like the over in this game, especially against Xavier Worthy and DeAndre Hopkins. Like, I do like the over. But this is the situation. So the Kansas City Chiefs can lock up the number 1 seed with a win against the Steelers. That's all they need. They don't need any help. They win this game, they lock up the number 1 seed. For the Steelers now, this game, it means something to them if you think Baltimore's going to beat Houston, because Baltimore plays at the 4:30 window, right, on Christmas Day. If Baltimore wins and Pittsburgh loses, then all Baltimore needs to do is beat Cleveland. Well, actually, hold on. Sorry. Let me speak correctly. Let me look at the standings real quick, guys. Hold on. Hold that thought. Okay. So, yes, I'm correct. So, if Pittsburgh loses this game and Baltimore beats Houston, then Baltimore only needs to beat Cleveland at home in Baltimore in Week 18 to win the division and clinch the 3 seed. Well, technically, they could clinch the 2 seed if Buffalo loses to the Jets. I don't think Buffalo's losing to the Jets. And then also Buffalo, if they beat New England in Week 18, if by some off chance that they do lose to the Jets, then if Buffalo beats New England in Week 18, then Buffalo clinches the 2 seed. Buffalo has a stronghold on the 2 seed, but Baltimore did beat Buffalo in the regular season. So if they tie, Baltimore would be the 2 seed, Buffalo would be the 3 seed. I really highly doubt Buffalo's going to lose both games to the Patriots and the Jets the next 2 weeks. So let's just take that out of the equation. So the Steelers need to win. Now, if they win this game, they still have, and Baltimore loses this week against Houston, the Steelers still need to beat Cincinnati at home in Week 18 to win the division if Baltimore beats Cleveland on Week 18. So the Steelers have a ton of work. The Steelers have to win both games to win the division, or they need Baltimore to lose to Cleveland on Week 18, which is not probable with Dorian Thompson Robinson playing quarterback. So this is a huge game for the Steelers if they believe that home field advantage is important. I don't necessarily believe that home field advantage is that important for them in the playoffs, because I think that they can go to Houston and win at Houston. And if they don't and they win the division, then they play the Chargers most likely at home in the divisional round, and I think they're fine with that. So, anyways, I just wanted to explain that tiebreaker. Now, I had just released Pittsburgh +3. I think the Steelers win today, guys. They're due for a win, and just because they're due for a win doesn't mean that they get it. But if you're a Steelers fan, you already know this. The Steelers' back end of the schedule, starting from Sunday, November 17th, really the Commanders game was tough too, and we didn't even think the Commanders game was going to be that tough, guys. They had to play the Commanders, Baltimore, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Cleveland, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Kansas City, Cincinnati. Like literally 9 games. The last 9 games for the Steelers were going to be brutal. They're 4-3 so far. I think they beat Kansas City today, guys. I think there's a little Christmas, not miracle, because it's not a miracle for them to beat Kansas City, but I do think that they beat Kansas City. Kansas City has overachieved. For them to only have 1 loss this year, that's freaking crazy. They should have lost to the Bengals in Week 2. They should have lost to the Falcons in Week 3. They should have lost to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Monday Night Football on November 4th. They should have lost to Denver Broncos. They blocked the field goal at the last second. And they could have lost to Carolina Panthers just a couple weeks ago on right after Thanksgiving or whatever. So Kansas City is the luckiest team. They've got an NFL referee support. We all know this. Pittsburgh +3 is a very good advantage. I definitely love Pittsburgh to keep it close in this game. I'm probably going to bet the over 43.5. See what the total is now. It's at 44. So, oh, no. There's some 43.5 out there. But 44, I still love 44. Guys, I think 3 games in 11 days favors the over. Okay, let's move on to the next game. We have the Baltimore Ravens at the Houston Texans. Let's take a look at the injury report for Baltimore. Okay, so it looked like Zay Flowers is questionable. Nelson Aguilar is out. The defense is 100% healthy except for Arthur Mollett, but he's been on IR. The starters are healthy. That's all that you need to know. The starters are healthy, so the defense is not compromised whatsoever. The offensive line is healthy. It's just the wide receiver position. So let's take a look here. Nelson Aguilar is ruled out with a concussion. Zay Flowers is questionable, but he played last week. I would expect Zay Flowers to play. If Zay Flowers does not play, guys, I really like Houston. I already lean Houston in this game at home. Okay. Now again, sorry, excuse me. For Baltimore, they don't have to win this game to win the division, guys. Again, if the Steelers beat the Chiefs and Baltimore loses, all Baltimore needs to win the division is for the Steelers to lose against the Bengals and for the Baltimores to beat the Browns week 18 against, who cares that plays at quarterback? Who cares, guys? Baltimore will be at home against Jameis Winston or Dorian Thompson-Robinson, who is, both are trash. Both are trash, guys. Both are trash. And why is that? Because both of these teams, the Steelers and the Ravens, are 3-2 in the division. So if Baltimore finishes 4-2 in the division and the Steelers finish 3-3 in the division, Baltimore wins the tiebreaker. Okay? So it all comes down. This game means nothing in terms of the division for Baltimore. Okay? Now it does a little bit. It does a little bit. No. It doesn't. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Win or lose, it does not matter, because for Baltimore to win the division, they will need Pittsburgh to beat the Bengals, well, and the Chiefs. So hypothetically speaking, let's say the Steelers beat the Chiefs. Baltimore, then it doesn't matter for them. If they win or lose, it doesn't matter. Okay? Now if Pittsburgh loses, Baltimore has a pretty much a stronghold. If they beat the Texans, they pretty much win the division, because then they just have to beat Cleveland the last week of the season. Now, the Bengals, okay, they play the Broncos this week. They play the Steelers at Pittsburgh in week 18. If the Bengals beat the Broncos and the Steelers beat the Chiefs, the Bengals have a legitimate shot to make the playoffs, guys. Okay, so we have to keep that in mind. Okay, so because if the Steelers beat the Chiefs, then the Chiefs have to beat the Broncos the following and on week 18 to win the 1 seed. And then that would catapult the Bengals, if they beat the Steelers in week 18, into the playoffs, into that last spot. So huge game for the Bengals this week, guys. Huge game. And I say all this just to put it all in context, that if the Steelers, that for this Baltimore game, it really does not matter win or lose for the Baltimore Ravens, because if the Bengals beat the Steelers in week 18, Baltimore can sneak in and win the division. So with that said, just to put that in context, this really is not that huge of a game for the Baltimore Ravens, okay? All right. Let's take a look at Houston's depth chart. I know Tank Dell had that really bad knee injury. They still have Robert Woods, who's an NFL veteran. They still have Nico Collins. They still have John Mechie III from Alabama. He's a good wide receiver. Oh, hold on. Did they sign Deontay Johnson? Oh, that's crazy. They signed Deontay Johnson. Ah, that's funny. That's really funny, guys. So they signed Deontay Johnson, and he just played with Baltimore. Okay, so that's a little bit of an angle, guys. That's a little bit of an angle. I don't know how I missed that. That's really, really freaking funny. Injury-wise, Shaq Mason, the right guard, looks like he's out. He's doubtful. Everybody else looks like they're good to go on offense. So they should be fairly good on offense. Defense, Azeez Al-Shaair, he's still suspended from the hit on Trevor Lawrence. That feels like a month ago. Somehow it's not a month ago. This will be his final game suspension served, but it's okay. They signed Devin White, the Super Bowl winning linebacker from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, so that's okay. They have him, and they have Christian Harris, Henry Tuoto, Jake Hansen, Neville Hewitt. Like they're fine at linebacker, guys. They're not that bad at linebacker. Now it looks like Fadukasi, the defensive tackle, is out, but they have Tim Settle, Will Anderson, Mario Edwards Jr., Derek Barnett, Danielle Hunter. Like they're good, guys, and the secondary is really good too. Derek Stingley, Kamari Lassiter, Jeff Okuda, like Eric Murray, Kalen Bullock. Like they're good. They're good. And Kaimi Fairbairn is a very good kicker. I really, really like the Texans in this game, guys. I really do. Now, they lost by 8 to Kansas City the week before, but again, they were in that game. And then guys like CJ Stroud was crying when Tank Dell got hurt. Like that's an emotional uphill battle to climb. Not necessarily that they moved past that, but they've had time to digest that emotionally. They've had time, like in terms of the offense. They're moving forward as a team. They're at home on Christmas Day. I think the home teams are a good look on Christmas Day, guys. Well, obviously because of the point spread value, right? Because the point spread in this game is the Baltimore Ravens minus 5.5, and I think that is freaking crazy. Okay, the Baltimore Ravens defense has had issues this year. Yes, they have fixed those issues slightly. But Pittsburgh last week, let's take a look. Let's dive deep, guys, and let's really understand what has happened with this Baltimore's defense, okay? Yes, they played really well against Pittsburgh, but at the same time, Russell Wilson scrambled and fumbled on the 3-yard line, okay? They only gave up 17 points. They really should have given up like 24 or more, okay? So Pittsburgh really choked offensively against the Ravens. They played the Giants the week before. That doesn't count. The Giants suck. The Giants are like the worst team in the NFL this year, okay? Now, they played Philadelphia the week before that, and they lost 24-19. They gave up 24 points, and that was at home. On the road against Los Angeles, they let up a late touchdown. It finished 30-23. But we know Los Angeles Chargers offense has not been that great this year. They lost at Pittsburgh. They gave up 18. They gave up 34 points on Thursday Night Football against the Bengals at home. Like on the road, they lost at Cleveland. They gave up 31 points to Tampa Bay. Okay, they gave up 38 points at Cincinnati. At Dallas, they only won by 3. They lost at Kansas City. So what I'm saying is that, like, again, this game does not matter that much for Baltimore. I love Houston in this spot, guys. I'm most likely going to be betting Houston plus 5.5. I'm going to wait. I hope I get a plus 6. That'll be such a huge advantage in my opinion. Over under is at 46.5. I lean over, even though, well, I lean over, guys. I'm not going to get there with this game because I actually like the under, but since and also because Baltimore is such a heavy over team. Baltimore is 12-3 to the over this year. That's such an outlier record that I think they are due for an under, that I'm not going to touch the under in this game. But Houston's such a heavy under team. They're 5-10 to the under. So that's so conflicting over under wise. You have the best. It's crazy. In week 17, you have the best over team against the worst over team. So you have the best under team against the best over team in week 17. Baltimore's still an outlier, in my opinion, more of an outlier. It's so tough, guys. I fully believe Houston to score points here, guys. Houston's live to win this game. That plus 5.5, I really like. I will bet plus 5.5. I'll bet it all the way to plus 4. I'll bet it to plus 3.5. I think Houston keeps this game close, guys. I really do. They have enough offensively to keep it close. Remember, Joe Mixon has played against the Ravens his entire career. So, Houston at home. Come on, guys. That's money right there. That's money right there, guys. Steelers at home, Houston at home, Christmas Day special. That's money in the bank right there, guys. Let's move on to Thursday Night Football. We have the sorry-ass Seattle Seahawks at the trash-ass Chicago Bears. Geno Smith is trash, guys. Okay? I should have won more money this season fading Geno Smith and the Seattle Seahawks than I won this season, okay? And I say that because I faded him the last 2 weeks. Green Bay beat him on Sunday night. I won with Green Bay, and then I won this past week with Minnesota. I should have won when they luckily beat Arizona. Well, not luckily. They beat Arizona like they should have. Not like they should have. Like they took care of business because Kyler Murray threw interceptions in the first half. They got lucky against the Jets. I should have won that. Okay, so like trust me, I bet the Seattle Seahawks at home against the Arizona Cardinals. I watched that game. I watched all the games, but I was watching that game and I was like, you know what? I got lucky. I got lucky because Geno Smith has repeatedly shown me he's not a good NFL quarterback anymore, or he never was a good NFL quarterback. He had that one good season and that was it. But he's not good anymore, guys. He's not confident. He keeps throwing interceptions. He's just not good. Now, unfortunately, on the other side, with Chicago, they're a freaking mess. Like, my goodness. Like, Chicago is a mess. I mean, again, this is all known, okay? They have not won a game since they won in London against Jacksonville, and they have not won a game, or they've lost since the Hail Mary. They gave up the Hail Mary against Washington, and they lost every single game since then. They did get behind early against Detroit, but they did battle back. They showed a little bit of fight, which I like. They showed a little bit of fight, which I was looking for. I was looking for that because if they didn't show any fight, then you know, like, hey, they really just don't give an F. They don't give an F. They're throwing in the towel. And they're like, F this season, F Thomas Brown, the interim offensive coordinator, the interim head coach, like, F it. F it. This will be the fourth game since Eberflus was fired, guys. Okay? They've lost by double digits in all 3 games since Eberflus has been fired. But this is the second home game. This is a winnable home game, guys. Okay? Like, they're only playing for pride at this point. But they showed a little bit of fight. Guys. Injury report-wise. Offense, they look good to go, except for Tevin Jenkins is questionable with a calf. He did not practice on Tuesday. We'll see what he does today. He's not that huge. I mean, he is a better offensive lineman for them, but it's not the end of the world if he doesn't play. For the defense, everyone's good to go. Maybe Dexter Jr., Gervin Dexter Sr. is questionable, but everyone else is good to go. I'm already thinking, even though this is a short week, I'm already kind of liking the under in this game. Just because I know Seattle's offense with Geno Smith isn't the best. And then I also respect Seattle's defense in this game. Now, Kenneth Walker Jr., he's questionable. Noah Fant's questionable. He did play last week. Oluwatimi, the center, he's questionable as well. I think he missed last week. On defense, it's just Derek Hall and Uchenna Nwosu. But everybody else is healthy. I like the under in this game. I don't even know what the line is. Let's take a look at the over-under line. It's 43.5, that key number of 43. I like the under 43.5. I really like that. Bears offense is not in sync. Geno Smith is not very good. Let's take a look at the trends on the season and the over-under for these two teams. So Seattle is 8-7. Chicago is 6-9. It's not too drastic. It's not like one team's an outlier to the under. I know 6-9 is a heavy under spot, but it is a short week. I like the under. I think I might get there with under 43.5. I like a messy game. I don't know what the weather is, and sorry, I usually say what the weather is for these games, but I like that under 43.5. The spread is -3.5. I'm telling you right now, guys, Bears plus 3.5 is the right side. Win or lose on that, Bears plus 3.5, I really like that a lot. I really, really like plus 3.5. I don't think the Seahawks can win by that much. I think the Bears are going to fight on Thursday night at home. Again, 2 out of their last 3 losses were on the road after Matt Eberflus got fired. And then their one home game that they played was against arguably the best team in the NFL. Now they're getting an opponent that, yes, Seattle playoff-wise, they need to win to have a slight chance to make the playoffs and win the division or sneak into the wild card spot. I don't think so. I think Seattle is freaking toast, guys. I really do. I like Chicago at home. I like them to sneaky, um, like for them to just lose out the rest of the season and only have 4 wins. Yeah, it's possible, but I don't think so, guys. I think Chicago wins this game. Plus 3.5 is a very, very good line value on Chicago. They showed fight last week. I think they show some fight in this game, guys. Chicago's 6-7 against the spread. Seattle is 6-8 against the spread. So nothing crazy. They're both basically the same, but I like the home team. Give me the home team with 3.5 points. I like that a lot, guys. I do like that. Okay, next game up. And before we get to the next game up, if you've listened this far and like you've listened to me all year on the podcast, like I appreciate you guys. I really do. I see you guys out there. I've grown a pretty decent audience with this, and like just thank you guys. I really do. All I ask is my YouTube channel, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow me on Twitter, comment, just build my engagement. It helps me get my message out there to everybody and help me get winning information out to everybody. So I mean that's just my goal. Like let's win together, guys. Let's win together. Let's make money betting sports. Like what's better? What's better, guys? Like if you love sports and you can make money off of sports and just like betting it, like it's amazing. It's incredible. So with that said, let's keep it going to the Saturday games. We have 3 games on Saturday. First game up is the Los Angeles Chargers, and I believe with just a win in this game, they clinch a playoff spot, a wild card spot, because they can't win the division because Kansas City already won the division. Injury-wise, it looks like Cam Hart, the cornerback, is questionable. Elijah Molden, the safety, is questionable. Denzel Perryman, the inside linebacker, is questionable. Everyone looks good, though. Khalil Mack, Joey Bosa, they look good to go. Tight end Will Dissly looks questionable. J.K. Dobbins, I don't think he's going to play this week, but his practice window is available off of IR, so who knows? Maybe he does play this week. We'll see. Lad McConkey's good to go. Offensive line is good to go. So they're good, guys. They're good. The Chargers are healthy relatively. No new injuries on there. They've lost 3 out of their last 5 games, but they had a nice come-from-behind win on Thursday night against Denver, so they've had 11 days or so to rest up and study for this New England game. They have Las Vegas the last week of the season, so if they lose this game for some reason, they have the Raiders. They can beat the Raiders. They have an easy schedule. All they have to do is just win a game, I believe, and they're in, guys. So that's the playoff scenario for them. Now the Patriots are playing really hard for Gerard Mayo, the new head coach of the New England Patriots. Drake May came out in support of Gerard Mayo, said that the loss was not on him at Buffalo, said that they love Gerard Mayo. And remember, Gerard Mayo called this defense soft after they lost in London to the Jaguars, right? So, like, I like these quotes from the players. I listen to the quotes from the players. If you're betting the NFL or any sport, let's hear from the players. Let's see what's going on from the players, right? They tell the story. You can feel the pulse of a locker room through the players' quotes, okay? So Drake May came out in support of Gerard Mayo, said, we support him, we like him as our head coach. I love that. I love that. I love to hear that. So that's good. They just fought really hard at Buffalo against a divisional opponent. Everyone looks pretty healthy. Jabril Peppers is questionable. Marcus Jones, the nickelback, is questionable. Not like detrimental injuries if they're not able to go. Everyone else looks good to go, right? So let's take a look at their schedule. They've lost 5 in a row. Again, they played at Buffalo really, really tough. They should have beat Indianapolis at home. Indianapolis got a 2-point conversion to win by 1 point. They played Los Angeles Rams really close. And they beat the Jets on the last play of the game at home pretty much. So those are the last home games. That home-road dichotomy, it's very important to understand. So New England's playing really, really freaking hard at home, guys. That is something to take note of. Now, the Chargers on the road, they lost to Kansas City. They won at Atlanta barely, but they really should have lost at Atlanta. Kirk Cousins really lost that game for Atlanta, not the Chargers beating Atlanta. They won at Cleveland handedly. That was impressive. And they lost at Arizona on Monday, October 21st on Monday Night Football, 17-15. So Chargers to win by margin on the road. The spread is plus 4. I think this line opened up plus 6. Wow, plus 4? I think it's going to be a close game, but still, Drake May has turned the ball over in bad spots. Like, yes, he's had some very good moments. Yes, the Patriots have played really hard at home, but Chargers win this game, they clinch their playoff spot. Again, if Denver loses, I think the Chargers clinch. Yeah. If Denver loses, the Chargers clinch a playoff spot, but the Chargers play before the Denver Broncos game. So they won't know. So if they win, they're in. So the Chargers win, they're in. They're going to be all in for this game, guys. That's a -4. That's shorter number than I thought, guys. Over under, I do lean that -4 to the Chargers, even though I just talked up the New England Patriots. Over unders at 42.5. I don't know. That's tough, guys. That's tough. I kind of lean under, honestly. Let's take a look at the over/under trends for these two teams. The Chargers are 6-9 to the under, and New England is 9-6 to the over. I kind of like the under 42.5 there. I think it is a close game, guys. I really do. Okay, next game up. I have a 5-unit max bet on this play, and it's on Cincinnati money line. It's the Denver Broncos at the Cincinnati Bengals. I think -3 is fine. I think -3 cashes as well if you just want to take the Bengals and you don't want to lay that big money line price like I did with the Bengals. And bottom line is this. Denver has overachieved this season. Let's take a look at their wins. They beat the Colts. Anthony Richardson isn't good. They beat the Browns. Jameis Winston sucks. They beat the Raiders. The Raiders suck. They beat the Falcons at home against Kirk Cousins when Kirk Cousins was sucking. Okay, their last 4 wins aren't good. Then they beat Carolina at home. That's not a good win. They won at New Orleans with Spencer Rattler at quarterback. Their last 6 wins are not good, guys. Their last 7 aren't good. They beat the Raiders. Their 7 wins, last 7 wins, they suck. Okay? They're not good. They've overachieved record-wise. Yes, they're taking care of business. Good for them. Cincinnati Bengals are nowhere close to those 7 teams that they just beat. Okay? Cincinnati Bengals are gelling right now, even defensively. The Cincinnati Bengals are gelling right now. I'm telling you right now, the Cincinnati Bengals will win this game. Okay? It's a 5-unit max bet for me. For the Bengals, lay the juice, lay the -170 juice. What's the best money line price right now? Best money line price is -168. So lay the -168. The Bengals are winning this game at home, guys. Okay? I mean, literally, I don't even need to go through the injury report. I don't need to go through who's going. You don't need to know. That's all you need to know. The Broncos beat sorry ass opponents. Okay? The Bengals have gotten their act together defensively. They have Joe Burrow playing at an MVP type level. Okay? Bo Nix has impressed me this year, but at the same time, he's a spaz. He's too crazy. He moves 1,000 miles per hour. He turns the ball over. He's gotten lucky. You're not going to get lucky in December at Cincinnati against a team that's been to the Super Bowl with a lot of those players on that team that have played in a Super Bowl. Sorry, guys. Cincinnati's winning that game. Do not bet Denver. That and Denver is also the best ATS against the spread record team this year at 11-4. I'm telling you right now, that's not sustainable. Denver being 11-4 against the spread, no, that's not continuing. Even with 2 games left, they won't cover this week, guys. I'm fine with -3, but trust me, the Bengals are winning this game, guys. Over under is at 49.5. I lean under. I respect Denver's defense. Bengals defense is playing better. Bo Nix converting on the red zone on the road. Just remember, Bo Nix at Baltimore struggled, okay? On the road against a fairly competent defense in Baltimore, he struggled, okay? On the road at Kansas City, only scored 14 points. On the road against Las Vegas, they scored a late touchdown. They were only up 22. to like 16 in that game. They scored a late touchdown to go up to 29-19, and that was against the Raiders defense. So Bengals defense has been playing better. I like that under 49.5. I really like that. And then also over-under wise, both of these teams, Cincinnati's 10-5 to the over, and the Broncos are... Where are the Broncos at? Broncos are 9-5 to the over. I like that under a lot. I like the Bengals. I like under 49.5. Okay, last game up for Saturday and last game up for this podcast. We have the Arizona Cardinals at the Los Angeles Rams. If the Rams win this game, they win the division. They punch their ticket to the postseason. Let's take a look at the injury report for them. They look fully healthy, guys, on the early injury report. They're on a 4-game win streak. They've beaten really good teams. They beat Buffalo at home. They beat San Francisco, and they beat the Jets, who really the Jets had a chance to win that game, and they probably should have won that game last week, okay? Arizona just lost at Carolina, but Arizona's still fighting really hard. They really should have won that game against Carolina, and they squandered that in overtime and late in that game. They beat New England at home before they lost to Seattle, which was kind of a fluke in my opinion. And they should have beat Minnesota at Minnesota, and they had a chance to beat Seattle at Seattle, and they had won 4 games before that. So I say all that. Arizona is out of the playoffs. I'm pretty positive about that. Let's take a look at the injury report. James Conner's questionable. Trey Benson's questionable. The running back room, everybody else is good to go. On offense, Mac Wilson Sr., linebacker, and Baron Browning, their new trade piece that they got from the Broncos, is questionable. Everyone else is healthy. And let's see, okay, so early in the season, the Cardinals won 41-10 against this team. So the Rams have a lot of motivation in this game. Even though the Rams have a lot of motivation in this game, the spread is too high, guys. It's plus 6.5. The Cardinals can cover that plus 6.5. I think the Cardinals are live to win this game. I really do. Kyler Murray can keep this game interesting. I like the plus 6.5. I really do. I think Cardinals are live to win this game. I think they can cover plus 6.5, even if they lose in a close one. Over-under wise is 47.5. I lean over. I do lean over. Let's see what the over-under trends are for these teams. The Rams are 7-8 over-under, and Arizona is... Where's Arizona at? 7-7. I like the over in this game, guys. I really do like that over in this game. 47.5. 47 is a key number, but I like points. I like points in that game, guys. So that's it, guys. That's the Christmas Day games, Thursday night game, and Saturday games. I will have the Sunday games and Monday Night Football games out later in the week. I appreciate you guys with the support. If you just tailed me in the NFL, you've made money this year. You've made if you were $100 better for every unit that I played, you'd be up $3,000 right now. So that's outstanding. That's awesome. I mean, I can't ask for a better NFL season than what I've had. I mean, I could, but I'm very satisfied with the NFL this season. We're gonna make money this week as well, guys. We're gonna make good money this week, and let's crush it, guys. Let's crush it. Let's get after it. All right. See you on the next show.